Hey everybody, welcome back to Active Self-Protection Extra. It's Neil. I've got my new friend Jeff here with me. We're going to talk about the Mantis a little bit.
The Filster Enigma is a revolutionary holster chassis system that completely divorces your holster and gun from your clothing, giving you unprecedented concealment whether in sweatpants or formal wear. It attaches to your AIWB holster via the wing and allows incredible flexibility for your concealed carry. Get yours at the link below.
All right, so we are just getting done with our evidence-based pistol skills class here in beautiful, sunny Spokane, Washington at the Spokane Rifle Club. And Jeff joined us for the class. It was a really fun weekend, right?
It was a very fun weekend.
So
well worth it.
Yeah, exactly. So at dinner last night, you were sharing with John and I that your experience, that you're not really a gun school junkie like some of the rest of us, that you've been to a couple of classes out there, but the vast majority of your stuff has been with the Mantis.
Yeah, just cost. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so I just really wanted to bring you on and introduce you to people and show people it's not just Neil that loves the Mantis. I tell people all the time, I don't think I'd be the shooter I am today without the Mantis. It really got me to where stepped me on the right path. But tell us a little bit about what do you do with your Mantis? What are your favorite drills?
Well, my favorite drills. I started with the Mantis X after recommendation from you guys. Everything I got was from recommendations from ASP. Cool. But I got the Mantis X, and then I got the Laser Academy, and just really enjoy that. My favorite in that is the hunt. But I always start off with just doing standard drills on the Mantis. I usually do 50 to 75 pulls just to get kind of used to it and get warmed up, and then have fun with the Laser Academy for maybe another 20 minutes. But it has changed the way I shoot. It has it's really taught me. I mean, that was really the big key for me. Is I didn't have a whole lot of money, and when you started talking about saving ammo, I put that into my budget of what I needed to get into shooting. And I mean, 5 years ago, I was an anti-gunner.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And so watching you guys and why my mind was starting to shift, that I needed in this older age to have some other protection. And I just made a list after watching even some of your old ones on Facebook. So it put my list together, and through the Mantis, it got me to the point where the first class I took, they were amazed that, well, they just said my little gun couldn't shoot the 75 feet or the
So let's talk
yards.
about that. So you did the FBI challenge.
Yes, and that was. I mean, if you haven't done that yet, do it.
If you've been around a while, you know. So the FBI challenge started as a spite bet with somebody that told me or told John once that the average American can't pass the FBI challenge because they don't have the time, the money, the training, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I think that's garbage. I think we can do 6 weeks of dry fire and I can get them to pass it, right? So I put together this little program. We had 11 people go through, all 11 passed, and there's a whole bunch of videos if you go back and look for them. Maybe we can put the link in there or something. But you went and did that.
Yeah.
And now, again, let me back up just a little bit. We didn't really prep this, and when we do our videos to this, he's like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, let's just let it go. We're going to have a conversation. So we haven't really prepped any of this other than you told me you did the FBI challenge. But then you said something last night about when you got there, you hired somebody to go with you, or went with an instructor, probably so you could draw from all of that, right?
I was an indoor shooting range, and they wouldn't let me draw. So the only way to do that is to hire somebody. Okay,
so you did that. So you spent a little bit of money on that, which is cool to do that because you wanted to see. And you're shooting.
He didn't even want me to even draw.
Yeah, and you're shooting what gun?
P365.
Okay, P365. Now hold your hand up. So his hands are a little bit bigger than mine, so he's shooting a tiny little gun. And when he showed up to class yesterday and I saw that gun, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a challenge, because guys with big hands struggle with little guns. And after your first few rounds, I'm like, okay, this guy's got it. So I was blown away when you said that really the most of your training was just with the Mantis. But so then you got there and he told you something about, well, when you get to the 25 yards, that little gun probably you won't be able to hit.
Well, he didn't want me to even do the challenge. He wanted to do a couple more classes beforehand, and we kind of argued a little bit. I said, this is why I want to do it. And he actually said, after looking through the different
The course is
Yeah,
firearm
the course
training
of
and all
fire
that.
training.
Yeah.
He says, you're never going to do that with my gun or your gun. You should probably borrow mine for that. And I said, no, I
Yep.
got it. He goes, well, you won't be able to do it with that. And afterwards, he had to come up and say, you know, it worked. And it was because of that challenge.
And for the record, you did not use his gun. You used your own gun.
I used mine.
And so so the FBI starts
and everyone was on the target. And I
Yeah.
think I got.
Do you remember your score?
I think it was like 96. So it was in the
Really?
the instructor level. So yeah, I was very
That makes
pleased.
me so
He
happy.
was amazed.
Yeah, well, good. I think that, that's the whole thing is I think sometimes in this industry, guys are like, well, this is a lot harder than it should be. And it's not easy, right? But with some focused training and a fun tool like the Mantis is fun, right? It gave
fun.
us the accountability. And I don't know if you use the groups. I don't know. I think you're in our Ask Dry Fire Challenge group and all that
I do
kind
a
of
lot
stuff.
of reading. I've
Yeah.
never put my video out there. Haven't been quite had the courage.
It's kind of scary, right?
Yeah. But everybody's really nice about the way
cool.
they critique it.
Yeah, and if anybody is watching and you want to join the Ask Dry Fire Challenge on Facebook, it's guys like Jeff that are in there, and there's some high-end shooters in there, that come in and give
always
advice.
very helpful.
And I don't let anybody jump all over people, and it happens from time to time because it's social media. But I'm like, hey, that's not how we do stuff here. If you want to go be hard on somebody and make fun of their stuff, there's plenty of other groups for that. This one, we're trying to help people get better, and we're meeting everybody where they are.
That works.
Some people are really high-end shooters, and some people are just beginning, and I want to meet everybody and just make this a welcoming thing. So, well, Jeff, man, it has been a pleasure. It was so fun to watch you shoot. Ask 10-round skill check that we did, and everybody's hopefully seen that. If not, there's videos on that as well. How did you do on that today? And I've
never shot it before. I mean, again, even on my range, you can't do fast shooting, and so it was new. It was definitely a challenge. Didn't do so well in the second one. I missed my second headshot, but it definitely was an enjoyable one, and it's I thought a great way to measure. So I'll use that, the math and everything. It definitely sets a precedent.
And I think if you use that as an assessment, you can use that in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. You have to, of course, finding some place that'll let you draw is a bit of a challenge. You can do that from a low ready too. Then you just knock off some time, and we'll talk about that off camera. But and I'll help you do that. But man, it has been a pleasure here. And just last night when I heard that you're like, well, the vast majority of my training has been with the Mantis. You've taken what, 2 other classes total?
Yeah, and about 12,000 polls on the Mantis.
And so, man, I'm telling you, this isn't an infomercial for Mantis. It's Mantis Monday, and they're a sponsor of ours, and I love the product because it's a good product, and this is why. And so when we walk into a class, as the instructors, we're kind of walking around, looking around, and we're like, okay, you can kind of tell the shooters from the new people that haven't really done this before, and everybody's welcome. We're not booting you out if you've never done that, but, as soon as I saw your gun, I was like, ooh, this could be a challenge. But I'm like, you know what? I tell people in the class, embrace the weirdness. You heard me say that several times, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what he's got, right? And as soon as you started shooting, I'm like, this is going to be fun. And now I don't have to teach you grip and sights and trigger because you already got all that. Now let's work on the other stuff, and let's get you a little bit higher up the ladder on this stuff. And man, you improved greatly. It was so fun. You're a very coachable student. I had a blast. I'd love to have you in class again sometime. And I really thank you for doing this video with us.
I'm working to get out to Kansas.
Oh, sweet. All right. So, well, guys, I know we didn't do any shooting. We didn't show you any technique or anything, but I'm telling you, if you don't have your Mantis yet, consider putting it in your budget. And also join the Dry Fire Challenge because we give them away not irregularly there. Mantis is a sponsor, so they have a few of them that we give away once in a while, and they are great people. Their service is great. The product is going to make you a shooter, and they're kind of fun.
Well, at least better shooter.
Better shooter, yeah, for sure. But man, you're well on your way, bro, so I appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
See you guys next week.
See ya.